unstoppable, do the impossible. I'm irresponsible, yeah, I'm phenomenal. I got an arsenal, I'm dropping bombs, you know. But what I'm stopping, no, conquer the obstacle. To the top, here I don't think I'm chosen to be the king of rock. Think the people are spoken. I can hear the tick tock of the clock. I'm in motion, so now I'm gonna pop, causing all this commotion. Yeah. Sometimes I think that I'm unstoppable. Yeah. Ready to go, man, lock and load. That's right. I swear to God that I can drop it raw. I got a shot and I ain't stopping, no. That's how I know that I'm unstoppable. That's how I know that I'm unstoppable. Yeah, let's go. I don't care what they all say. I'ma do this thing my way. Been grinding hard on it all day. We work hard, then we all play. I'm addicted to the grind, man. So I refuse to waste time, man. One day it all will be fine, man. Gotta commit to the grind. You know we're back with the Guinness, setting records every minute, every track, in addiction to the fact that we're winning. Still we lack something's missing, need a track that is hitting, making racks, making millions. I don't waste time, no, I make time. All these people wanna hate, fine, I'ma make mine. While you sitting there complaining, I'll be training. While you sitting there just waiting, I'm creating. Yeah. Sometimes I think that I'm unstoppable. Yeah. Ready to go, man, lock and load. That's right. I swear to God that I can drop it raw. I got a shot and I ain't stopping, no. That's how I know that I'm unstoppable. That's how I know that I'm unstoppable. Got it all wrong. We just gotta hold on and on and on and on. Gotta take a look around me, taking pages from a magazine, looking for the answer. Ever since we were 17, you know the truth can be a weapon to fight through ill intention. The answer to the same question. How many times will you learn the same answer? Got it all wrong. You just gotta hold on and on and on. 'Cause we're gonna be legends. Get their attention. What we're doing here ain't just scary. It's about to be legendary. We're gonna be take a look around me. Take your pages from a magazine. Looking for the answer. Ever since we were 17. 'Cause we're gonna be legends. Gonna get their attention. What we're doing here ain't just scary. It's about to be legendary. Yeah, we're gonna be legends. Gonna teach you all a lesson. Got this feeling in our souls we carry. It's about to be legendary. This is what we came for. We couldn't want it anymore. Never turn back now. Got to leave it all on the floor. Dreaming of a hell. The struggles and the chaos. Fighting truth in there on the way up. Tell them the truth, but they think it's just chaos. We're gonna be legendary. We're gonna be legendary. We're gonna be legendary. We're gonna be legendary. We're gonna be legendary.
What's up? Good morning, folks. Drop a comment in the comment box if you guys like that new intro. Trying to figure out how to put together copyright free intro music and kind of mesh it together to make a good intro. The only problem I have is StreamYard only allows a certain size of intro. So I got to figure out how to do that aspect of it. But we'll get it all figured out here. We got a ton of things on the list this morning. People coming in from all over. We got questions on best-selling Christmas items, favorite Christmas movies, setting up the first carve, theft of work, fair use and copyright issue, and avoid getting your shops closed down. And they meant like their e-shops. So that's definitely a big topic right now in this day and age. I don't know. It's one of those things we're going to dive into. Hopefully we get some conversation going. I would love to have some people on that have some knowledge on that, other than myself, and we can have a good discussion. I want to really flesh this out and see what we've got. So let's see here. We got some chats popping off. Die Hard is a Christmas movie. Absolutely. Mark is absolutely correct. Definitely a Christmas movie. I'll agree to that. Copperhead Mike says that it was a good intro. Thank you, man. That there's something about that intro music. I forget the name of them. I got it from Benbox music. But there's something about that, the riff, the beat, the whole thing just kind of comes together, makes me excited. Good morning. And Friday After Next is a Christmas movie. Absolutely. I will agree to both Die Hard and Friday After Next is a Christmas movie. So that's kind of where we're at with things. Let's see. What was the name of the We're Gonna Be Legends? It is a fair use remix of let's see. We're gonna be Legends. Welshly Arms, and it's called Legendary. Welshly Arms Legendary. It's a great song. The original is great. A lot of the remixes are good. It's enough to get you popping and motivated. So that's what we got. And Tiff is on here. What's up, Tiff? How are you? Good to see you on here, honey. Okay, I guess let's get into it. This goes out to the masses, but what is your favorite Christmas movie? My favorite Christmas movie, I don't have a favorite. The whole Christmas genre kind of, it just puts me in the mood of, hey, let's be with family, let's do stuff. I was thinking today, it's kind of sad that we need holidays to carve out time to be with our families. But it's the truth. Hold on one second. My daughter's letting me know she has robotics at 9:45. Okay. Um so uh some of my favorite movies are there was a I I forget what it's freeform now. It used to be something else, kind of like uh a family channel setup. And I think it's called Freeform now. Um, but anyways, they made a direct to TV movie. It's a repop of the Groundhog Day theme. It was called Christmas Every Day. Um, I love watching that. I usually end up watching that on YouTube. As a matter of fact, it was playing out in the living room this morning. Um, two of my favorite movies for Christmas. I could watch them over and over and over again. Is Scrooged with Bill Murray and The Ref with Dennis Leary. Um, just complete dysfunction. Um, it sums up my life pretty well. Just complete dysfunction. Um, so those are three of my go-tos. Um, the one movie that hits me in the feels all the time is Nicolas Cage and Taya Leone, Family Man, The Family Man. I like that one. It's just a hit you in the feels, make you feel good. Um, let's see what else. You got Four Christmases. Polar Express is actually a good one. I like watching that once once the weather starts changing for December. Um, trying to think what else. Um, I don't know. We have a whole box of Christmas movie DVDs. Um, had to explain to my daughter what a VHS was because we had a Christmas Story on VHS. Um, yeah. Let's see. Copperhead Mike likes It's a Wonderful Life. I got to be honest. I have never seen that. Never, never watched it. Never seen it. Uh, I'm sure it's on TV, and I flip right by it all the time. I've never seen Miracle on 34th Street. Um, two of my favorites to watch with my daughter is Home Alone 1 and 2. Um, those are great kids movies. One of my favorite things to do at this time of year is make some hot chocolate and get some pajamas on and sit there uh, just snuggled up with my daughter under a blanket and watch these movies. There's something about it that it's oddly satisfying. Um, so yeah, what else we got out there, guys? What other movies? What are some great movies? We do have Lethal Weapon 1. That's a Christmas movie. Um, we got to include that for the Christmas movies. Who doesn't like a psychopath cop and blood and gore, uh, hookers and ODs and dead bodies all around for Christmas? I mean, you know, and you got Busey in there. um, so those are some movies that I watch. Let's see. I think not getting much response on that, so we're going to move on. Best-selling Christmas items. What are some of your best-selling Christmas items? I do really well with the ornaments. I laser cut and laser etch custom wooden ornaments, and I make plasma cut metal ornaments, anywhere from 3.5 to 5 inches round. Those sell really well. Some of my best sellers are my monograms. My monograms are beautiful. They're ready to go. You know, I can make them from start to finish. I can make them in a half hour, powder coated. You know, and that's just, to me, that's probably one of my big sellers. This year, my sprint car, my 3/4 view sprint car, has sold a lot. So trying to figure that one out. I do a custom number on it. You can do custom color, stuff like that. Let's see. Okay. John or Mike is talking. He's got the F2020 ornaments in high demand. We've got our version here. So we've got a few of those. And you know, that's definitely been a big one. My buddy Tommy, he's doing a lot of house keys. This is our first Christmas 2020, or this is our first Christmas in our new house 2020 or something. He sold like 10 grand worth of those ornaments. So good job, Tommy. Way to be out there and get that going. All right. So into the meat and potatoes of things. G-code senders and G-code language. What are they and what are the differences? So, had a private message asking, what are the differences between UNC Mach 3 and Gerbil? There are a ton of differences. For one, Gerbil is a firmware. It's a language. It's a computer language. It's a machine language that tells the computer, can speak it to tell the machine what to do. Okay. UNCNC and Mach 3 are what we call G-code senders. Okay. Both of them operate on the premise of Fanuc language. Fanuc G-code language, it is a set of language. It's a computer language that allows you to it allows the computer to speak with the machine controller. Okay. All of your machines have a machine controller, and all of them have some type of PC with them. Not necessarily a PC, but some type of microprocessor. Okay. Most of them will use either a Linux or a Windows desktop, like mini computer or desktop computer, like a mini ATX or something. Then you have your controller for the machine, and that's what tells the drivers what to do, when to do it, and how to do it. Okay. Computer language is like speaking American English. Controller language is like speaking Spanish. Okay. Um, when you design something in CAD, you then write the toolpath in CAM, so you can now tell the machine what you want it to do. You use a post processor to encode that information in a way that the machine can understand. Okay. I like to say that the post processor is translator one. So it takes computer design and puts it into computer language. Okay. Then you have computer language going into a G-code language. Okay. So you got CAD, CAM, G-code. All right. Now, your G-code senders are they can vary greatly based on what machine and what language that machine speaks. So for a lot of the hobby machines, you have what's called a Gerbil uh, or garble or I've GRBL. It's usually capital G, capital R, capital B, capital L. Um, it was a language that was developed, I think, about a decade ago, and it's a firmware language that is pretty simple. It doesn't have a lot of frills, doesn't have a lot to speak on with machine settings. It is expanding. People are building on it now. It was originally made for the Arduino type microprocessors. That's not to say Arduino is the end all be all. There's the Winger, there's the SparkFun, there's the Tensi, there's the Tiny G, there's the Open Builds Black Box, there's Marlin. There's a ton of those. Okay, most of those languages are like a Gerbil based. Okay. With Gerbil, you have senders, either standalone senders that you download, and they usually are Java based, or you have web based. So you have stuff like Etzelcam, which is a powerful G-code sender, but it's typically translated from German, so some things don't make sense. You have Chili Pepper, you have BCNC, you have Bob CNC, not to be mixed up with the Bob CNC CNC router machine. You have Universal G-code sender, you have PIC sender, you have Open Builds Cam, you have Gerbil sender, Gerbil laser, Lightroom, not Lightroom. Damn it. There's one for laser, Lightburn. That's what it is. And that's like a laser sender. You have Bentbox. You have Gerbil laser. I mean, it goes on and on. So those senders are translator number 2, and that takes G-code. So you're now going from computer design to computer code, computer language, to G-code. G-code goes in to the sender, and the sender is translator number 2 that puts it into machine language. Okay. And and then it goes out to the machine. Now, there are a ton of machine languages. As I said, one of the best known and typically the base language for all the industrial machines is some form of Fanuc language. Fanuc is a company based out of Japan. They just lost their CEO. He was the one that actually developed this language, and it was amazing, the stuff that you could do with it. Okay, hold on one second. We got messages coming in. Trying to stay up. Let's see here. All right. It doesn't look like we're getting a ton of comments specific. Okay, we're caught up. So Fanuc language for this is kind of the base language for all the machines. Like Haas has their conversational language, but it's really based on a Fanuc 6 language base. It's Mazak uses their language. It's like like Puerto Rican, Mexican Spanish, Guatemalan Spanish, Spanish, and Portugal Spanish. It's everybody is speaking the same thing, just with a different dialect, a few different words and stuff. And then you have some proprietary languages out there, like Shopbot. Shopbot uses kind of a Fanuc, Gerbil, bastardized G-code language, with all kinds of weird calls and stuff like that. And that I would akin that to from speaking all the Spanish dialects to speaking Italian. Okay. It's close enough that you could get by and understand it, but it's a bastardized version of a base language. So that's kind of one of the things. So when the person asked, what's the difference between UN CNC, Mach 3, and Gerbil? UN CNC and Mach 3 are G-code senders, and Gerbil is a G-code language firmware. So Gerbil is actually a machine language, where the other two are G-code senders. So they send the G-code to the machine, they translate it and make the machine run. Gerbil is what a G-code sender would translate to the machine. That's the language it would translate to the machine. Okay. And when you think about it, Gerbil is nothing more, well, all of them are nothing more than binary, zeros and ones in a certain sequence, in a certain order, based on an if this then coding platform. You can write code for for a lot of this stuff in text, in C++, in Python, and everything like that. Now, that's a whole bunch of technical language being thrown at you. All you need to really understand is the ability for Mach 3 and UNCNC to send code over the universal G-code sender and PIC sender for Gerbil is the first two are more abundant in features. Okay. They have access to industrial style features. All right. The problem with that is, yes, you have access to those features, but you have an issue with learning. Okay. It takes I've used Mach 3 since it was Mach 1, where we're up to Mach 4. I used it when Art initially made it, and now Brian at Newfangled Solutions owns it. So I've been a generational user, and it's gotten better and better and better. It is a mainstay in advanced hobby introductory industrial machines. Okay. A lot of stuff you can do on industrial machines, you can program into Mach 3. UNCNC, I can't speak on it too much because I've only ever set it up 2 times. I've used it 1 time, so I can't speak on that a lot. But my new 4x8 router that will be here next week is running UNCNC, and CNC for newbies, for noob. They didn't make, but they sent me a wireless pendant to try with this. So I'm excited to see how this works out, because this is the first machine that I've actually am going to use a wireless pendant on. And this is the first machine that I personally am going to own that is a UNCNC based machine. So I'm going to have to look up my post processors and all that kind of stuff. Kind of excited about it. I'm not going to lie. So Croft CNC will be doing a lot more with UNC and C this coming year. A lot more videos on that. Man, that topic right there is something I could speak on so far. As a matter of fact, let me see if I have my workflow chart. I put a workflow chart up. Let's see how. I'm trying to find something for you guys so that it's coffee this morning, run of the mill, nothing spectacular to talk about. Let's see. I am trying right now to find a workflow chart that I made that we might be able to utilize better. Let's view group. I don't know this new. I really don't know this new Facebook. I'm trying to figure this thing out because it doesn't give me like photos, you know, just photos. That's all I want. Where are my photos at? All right. I'm trying to pull this up right now. There is a ton of stuff on here. There it is. All right, let's see. Okay. Open this, share screen. Okay. Here you go. We don't want that. We don't want that. There we go. All right, perfect. So as you guys can see, you take your file, you move it into CAD. It then goes to CAM. We run a post processor and make a gcode file. We load that gcode file into a gcode sender, and then we send it out to a machine. And the machine obviously has all of these features and whatnot. So you have a design language, a toolpath language, a machine program, the machine G-code sender, and the machine itself. Okay. So that's how that workflow goes. Other than that, it's pretty simple. All right. So without getting bogged down into too much stuff, that's where we're going with that. Setting up first carve, placement of 0, check thickness, speeds, feed settings. Okay, this came to me from a private message. When you're setting up your first carve, it's a little daunting because as you're, let me open this back up. Okay, as you are designing here, you need to think about what material you're going to use and how you're going to use it. What's the size? For me, you know, I have all my tooling. I have an idea of how I'm putting the project together. That's not to say that it's not going to change, but like I know I'm going to use 2-inch thick oak slab that's rough cut. So I'm going to have to plane it down. I then know I'm going to have to flip it and plane it again. You know, stuff like that. So for me, I have that stuff figured out going into the file. Then when I make my tool path, I already have my tools picked out, ready for design. And I run a simulator and I see what that part's going to look like with everything. Okay. Sometimes the tooling is too big, the V is too deep, and so on and so forth. So what you end up with is a change of tools in that process. So in these two processes, you have materials and tool changes that happen. Once you have all of that figured out, you generate a toolpath program. Okay. That's kind of one of those things that everything can be changed. So you can go back here and change your speeds and feeds. Speeds and feeds is how fast the tool turns and how fast the machine moves the tool. All right. So you have some formulas you have to know. But one of my favorite things to use is the Millwright CNC app, and it'll give you a good starting point for your speeds and feeds. I utilize that quite often. Set up my tool library, and then I do material testing. I mean, I can push my machine to 300 inches a minute. It doesn't like it, but it'll do it. So, as I do that, I have to account for any transitions and stuff. So whenever I push the machine faster, there's more vibration. So I have to change my tool paths, which changes my G code. Okay. And then from there, I have to set up my 0 point for the machine, because right now the computer thinks it's in one place and the machine doesn't know where it's at. So then we do placement of material and clamps. We probe the corner or the center. We home the machine and do all this, and then we run the program, and that turns on the spindle and starts to go. There are a lot of things that can change in that time, from this part all the way to this part. This whole thing changes. So if I change something here, I have to change everything down. If I change something here, I have to change everything down. I change something here, everything down. I can't change anything here. I can change stuff here, but that's just like material placement and clamps and everything like that. So the better you get at your design, the better you're going to be at setups and everything, because you'll have CAD design clamps that you'll import, and I'll actually import clamps into the design, and I'll set those up, and I'll have a measurement of where to put those. I need more coffee. So that's kind of the workflow for the X-Carve. But that's not the end all be all. Whenever you're doing this stuff, you can use any design software. You can use multiple toolpath generators. You can post-process in a ton of different G-code files. You can use many different G-code senders based on your G-code, and then you can use all kinds of machines. My routers are one type of G-code language. My 3D printers are another. My vinyl cutters are another, so on and so forth. So take that for what it's worth. All right. And we're back. Okay. Without going into too much technical detail, that's kind of how everything works together. I could do a whole week just on the steps on that workflow. It's really unique. It's really fun to know how much you can actually change. So I do a lot of tutorials on generating designs. I don't do a lot on generating toolpaths because every machine is different. My plasma machine has a different toolpath design than my router. And the reason being, I have lead ins and lead outs for the router, and I have lead ins and lead outs for the plasma. And they're very important and very different whenever you start looking at that stuff. So just take that into account and understand that there are many ways to skin a cat. If you find one that works, stick with it and just try and learn it the best that you can. This whole concept of CNC machining is nothing more than educated guesses that are tried. You may try them or somebody else may try them and you replicate them, but that's what it is. Okay. Theft of work, fair use, and copyright, and avoiding getting your eShop closed down. This is a topic I'm not very well versed on, other than you have to change products. Like if you take a sign, a prime example, I took a sign yesterday off Board and Batten, and I used that design as a base for a new sign. So let's see. Let me see if I can pull all that up. It's not in there. All right, plasma. There we go. Okay. So I came up with this design. But I actually used a Google search to find what I wanted. Let's see. I searched smokehouse signs, and what I came up with was something akin to this. And I scrolled down and I found one. I just went to images. I'm trying to find the picture now. I basically just took the bottom wording that says proudly smoking whatever you brought. It was like a Wayfair sign. There we go. So I took this bottom part here and I made my sign. But then I also took another search and I went to I went to Board and Batten Design Company, and I found some pictures that I liked. SharePoint, live broadcast. It's all moved. But basically, I went in. I'm trying to pull up a design. Vintage farmhouse. Okay, there we go. It was one of these ones. So let me share my screen and show you. All right. And I basically just scrolled down through and I found a sign that was very similar to what I wanted. Let's see. This webpage has a ton of SVG designs. I don't know. I don't have any specific setups from them that I use, but basically I just go through and find something that I like. So like I like the curvature of this and I like the font. So I'll actually document what font that is and I'll save this. And you can't save her picture, so my workaround is take a screen caption and then go from there. But I don't use her information there. I use the arc design and I make a template of it. And then I take my my design idea and I start elaborating on it. You know, and that right there is what sets it apart, is what are you actually making and what are you doing different for everything. I'm using her design base and the arc that she puts on it, but I'm coming back and I'm saying, hey, I want to do something in this design, but I want this wording and I want it to be in this font. And whenever you do something like that, you really can change everything. I'm really trying to find the one the one sign that I used, because you'll see how different it actually came out. compared to what I started with. And it's one of those things that, you know, all of this is a touchy subject because you know, I took wording from one thing, moved it into another. Actually, here it is. So let's do this. Let's stop sharing that, share screen. Okay, that's the base sign that I used. So now let's share my entire screen. There's that one. And let's see here. There. That's what I ended up with. All right. So I basically took her arc here and this outer design, box design. I made my sign that way. I made this offset, and then I changed up the font, and I put this little piece here from this sign. So I took the wording down here, the basic design here, and made that. Now, did I break any copyrights? That is the big question. And the answer is no. And the reason being, I did not take her design and try and sell it. I did not directly copy her design and font and say that it was hers. I did not use a copywritten phrase from the Wayfair sign. And then on top of it, that Wayfair sign says proudly serving, or proudly cooking, or proudly serving whatever you brought. And I changed the serving or cooking to smoking, proudly smoking whatever you brought. And that's the gist of everything. It's 5 o'clock somewhere is protected. It was actually a Jimmy Buffett phrase, and it was protected under his music. But you also have to remember who's going to come after you if you don't have anything to give them. If you're making a ton of money off of them, yeah. But if you're not, they don't have anything to gain by getting you. So what are they ending up with? Nothing. You know, in this day and age, it's really weird because I can go on Google and do an image search and I can pull up a picture. And if it's out there on the internet and it's on somebody else's, here's an example. I have a tribal wolf dream catcher that I do. I got the base file on one of the plasma cutting groups. It's out there. It's free. Somebody put it out there. It's been downloaded hundreds of thousands of times. I made it. I put it on Etsy, and the artist decided that out of all the hundreds of thousands of people, that I was the one that she was going to put the complaint against. So she messaged Etsy and said, that's copywritten material. Have him quit selling it. And she messaged me and was like, that's my design and this and that and the other. Well, it turns out she drew it and she put two wolf heads pointing opposite stacked on top of each other and a dream catcher under it. Okay. Somebody took it and made a tribal wolf head off of an overlay of her design and put it on the internet. It's not copywritten. I went round and round with her until finally I was just like, listen, you're being a fucking Karen, and you know, we need to stop this. I'm wasting more time and breath talking to you, and you're being a bitch. So let's go ahead and move on. So now I just say, hey, you do you. And if you want to take it, let's do it. Because it's out there for free. I didn't do it. I downloaded it from someone else. I have no idea where they got it from, what they did with it. You know, it can get real muddy real quick. I have a friend that he does plasma cutting, and John Deere, Dodge, and Ford all came after him because he was selling their logos cut into metal signs, direct logos. Okay. You know, they have a case against him. He ended up spending a couple $100,000 to get that taken care of. But you know, I know other guys that are sitting there cutting very similar things, or you know, any, anyways, they cut it and didn't get in trouble. Now, here's where I come quandary is my wife makes gnomes. Okay. She's buying fabric from a store. She sews the fabric into a design. If she sells that gnome, is she breaking a copyright? That's something that does of setup and whatnot. Hold on one second, guys. All right. We have a customer coming and trying to get that squared away. But yeah, Copperhead, we got it figured out. But anyways, uh, lampshade and sell a Penn State themed lamp. If you bought everything, like I can go to Walmart and buy Penn State memorabilia and glue and shape it all together and make a Penn State lamp. Well, it's all stuff that I bought. Am I breaking their copyright? If I take a Yeti cup and I powder coat it orange and black, and I buy a Harley vinyl sticker from the Harley shop, and I cut it apart, and I laminate it, and I use that as a stencil, am I breaking the copyright? These are all very gray areas that, with the advent of the internet, it's very muddy, because China doesn't have to abide by our copyright laws. And if they take something and make artwork from it, and I buy it from them, am I now breaking the copyright in the US? Because somebody owns the copyright to that, but I didn't buy it from them. I didn't have to buy it from them. I bought it from a guy in China. I still paid for it. I did what I was supposed to do. Am I supposed to search for certain copyright numbers or anything like that whenever I buy something? So the copyright thing is very muddy right now. Very muddy. I like to say this: if you're questioning it, don't do it. It's that simple. If you're questioning it, don't do it. If you're not questioning it, just remember, ignorance of the law is not an excuse. That's just how I look at things. We'll leave it at that. Avoid getting your eShop closed down. That goes with the copyright stuff. There's a member agreement. There's that you have to accept. If you accept that, you're playing by their rules. If they say they take control of your files once you post them on their server, and you post proprietary stuff on their server, you gave up your rights to it. They can pull those, and they can put that out on the internet. They can make money from it, so on and so forth. There's nothing you can do about it. I mean, there probably is, but they're gonna drain you, and you have to basically write it off and say, hey, lesson learned. I'll host my stuff my way wherever I want. And go from there. There's a lot of really weird things going on out there right now. I can't really elaborate on a lot of it because I haven't experienced it. I try to keep my nose clean and out of the weeds of all that stuff. I like playing with my machines, and that's it. So everything that we talked about, don't take it as gospel. I'm not giving you law advice because I'm not a lawyer. I'm not giving you medical advice because I'm not a doctor, and I'm not giving you any type of actionable information. Do your own research. There. Now I'm putting the responsibility on you, and boom, there you go. That's my caveat. Other than that, that's pretty topical information, but it gets the it gets the juices flowing and the conversation started. Yeah, that's that. So wanted to share with you guys, I made a 3D file. This is my dad. My dad was a machinist second mate, or machinist mate second class in the U.S. Navy. And I'm making a flag for him. And I am going to 3D print his part, or his rank. I'm going to 3D print it and then cast it in aluminum. So let's scale this up 500%. Let's look at this. Topical. All right. All right, let's share screen. Look at that. That's what I'm talking about right there. So I made it so that I can print it out. It'll have all the detail. It's all three-dimensional. And I'll be able to actually cast that in aluminum. So pretty proud of myself for that one. My dad seems to like it. So good job, Mike. My father was pretty badass. I have all of his medals and stuff like that here. He got the Navy Achievement award. These are a bunch of his ribbons and cufflinks, and his honorable discharge pin. So, but I got to find a way. I got to make a very special flag for him, you know, something to really showcase his accomplishments. As you know, I'm very proud of my family's military history. So I got to do something for him. So with that being said, I'm going to cut you guys loose. Have a good one.